Now come days of begging, days of debt, days of riding, where there roam no soul save he. He's left behind the pine-wood country and the evening sun declined before him. Beyond an endless swell and dark falls, he is like a thunderclap, and a cold wind set the wheat to splashing. The night sky lies so spread, spread with stars that there is scarcely space of black at all, and they fall all night in bitter arc, and it is so that they number are no less. He, he gives from off the king road for fear of citizenry. The little Perry will cry all night and dawn. Find him in the grassy draw where he has gone to hide from the wind. The hopeless mule stand over him and watch the east for light. The sun that rise in the color of steel, his mouth shadow, his mountain shadow fall for miles before him. He wears on his head a hat. He is made from leaves, and he made from leaves. He made from leaves, and they have dried and cracked in the sun, and he looked like a raggedy man wandering from some garden where he had used to frighten birds. Come evening, he dragged a spire of smoke, rising a big way from among the low hills, and before dark he held up at the doorway of an old anchorite nested away in the soft-light cloud slot, solitary, half-mad, his eyes rim, his eyes red brimmed, as if locked in that cage with hot wine. But upon the able body for that, he was worthless, while the kid is down, sleepy from the moon. A rough wind had blowing, and his wrath flapped about him. Sin yes more, said the kid. Thought you might spare a man a soup of water. The old hermit scratched his filthy hair and looked at the ground. He turned and entered the hut, and the kid followed. Inside darkness and a smell of earth, a small fire burning on the dirt floor, and the only furnishing were a pile of ice in one corner. The old man suffered through the gloom, his head bent to clear the low ceiling of woven limbs and mud. He pointed down to where a bucket stood in the dirt. The kid bent and took up the row. The kid bent and took up the gout floating there and dipped it and drank. The water was salty, sulphurous. He drank on. You reckon I could water my own milk out there? You reckon I could water my own milk out there? The old man began to beat his palm with one fist and dart his eye about. Be proud, be proud to fact in yours. Be proud to fact in some fresh. Just tell me where it's at. What can to water him with? The kid looked at the bucket and he looked around the dim hut. I ain't drinking afternoon meal, said the hermit. Have you not got no gold bucket, no nothing? No, cried the hermit. No, I ain't. He was clapping the heel of his clenched fist together at his chest. The kid rose and looked toward the door. I'll find something, he said. Where the well at? Up the hill. Follow the path. It's not too dark to see out here. It's a deep path. Full a year feet, full a year mule. I can't go. He stepped out into the wind and looked about for the mule, but the mule wasn't there. Moo, mule. Far to the south, lightning flared soundlessly. He went up the path among the grassing weeds and found the mule standing at the well, a hole in the sand with rock piled about it, a piece of dry hide for the cover, and a stone to weigh it down. There was a round wide bucket with a round high bell, and a rope for raising leather. The bucket had a rock tied to the bell to have it tip and fill, and he lowered it until the rope in his hand went slack, while the mule watched over his shoulder. He drew up 3 bucketfuls and held them so the mule would not spill them, and then he put the cover back over the well and led the mule back down the path to the hut. Thank you for the water, he called. The hermit appeared darkly in the door. But stay with me, he said. That's all right. Best stay. It's fixing to storm. You reckon? I reckon, and I reckon right. Well, ring the bell. Ring ye the bell. Ring ye back. Ring ye possible. He uncinched it and drew down the saddle and hobbled the mule foreleg to rear and took his bedroll with. There was no light to say the light. There was no light, say the fire, and the old man was squatting by it otherwise. Anywheres, anywheres, he said. Where's ye saddle at? The kid stretched out with his chin. Don't let it out yon don't let it out yonder, something get it. Don't let it out yonder. Something will eat it. This is a hungry country. It is a hungry country. He went out and ran into the mill in the dark. It had been standing looking in at the fire. Get away, fool, he said. He took up the saddle and went back in. Now pull that door before we blow away, said the old man. The door was a mass of plank on leather hinges. He dragged it across the dirt and fastened it by its leather latch. I take it ye lost your way, said the hermit. No, I went right to it. He waved quickly with his hand. The old man. No, no, he said. I mean ye was lost to come here. Was that a sandstorm? Did ye trip off the road with the night? Did ye P.S.E yet? The kid pondering this. Yeah, he said. We got off the road some way or another. No wet yeti? How long you been out here? Out where? The kid was sitting on his blanket drawer across the fire from the old man. Here, he said, in this place. The old man didn't answer. He turned his head suddenly aside and see his nose between his thumb and forefinger and blew twin string of snot onto the floor and wiped his fingers on the seam of his chin. I come from Mississippi. I was a slaver. Don't care to tell it. Make good money. I never did get caught. Just got sick of it. Sick of nigger. Sick of niggers. Wait till I show ye something. He turned and rummaged among the hides and handed through the flame a small dark thing. The kid turned it in his hand. Some man's heart, dry and blackened. He passed it back, and the old man cradled in his palm as if he would wait it. As if he had waited. Would wait it. There is 4 things that can destroy the earth, he said. Women, whiskey, money, and niggers. They sat in silence. The wind The wind moaned in the section of stovepipe that was run through the roof above them to quit the display of smoke. After a while, the old man pulled the heart away. That thing cost me $200, he said. That thing cost me $200, he said. You gave two, you gave $200 for it? I did. For that was the bride they put on the black son of a bitch it hung inside of. What? I did. For that was the bride they put on the black son of a bitch it hung inside of. He stole about in the corner and came up with an old dark brass kettle, lifted the cover and poked inside with one finger. The remains of one of the lank, hairy hair interwove in cowries and fur with a bright blue moon. He clamped the lid back on the kettle and set it in the flame. Ain't much, but we will go share, he said. I think, yeah. Lost head away in the dark, said the old man. He stirred the fire, standing slender thrust of bone up out of the ashes. The lad didn't answer. The old man swung his head back and forth. The weight of the stranger rose in his heart. God made this world, but he didn't make it to sue everybody, didn't he? I don't believe he must have. I don't believe he must have me in it in mind. Yeah, said the old man. But where does a man come by his notions? What world's he seen that he liked better? I can think of a better place and better ways. Can you make it be? No, no. It's a mystery. A man had ought to know his mind, 'cause his mind is all, and he has to know his wit. He can hold his heart, but he don't want to. Rightly so. Bad not to talk in there. Bad not to look in there. It's in the heart of a creature that is bound in the way that God has set for it. You can find meanness in the least of creature, but when God made the man devil, was at his able, the creature that can do anything, make a machine, and a machine to make the machine, an evil that can run itself 1,000 years. No need to tame it. You believe that? I don't know. Believe that. When the old man's mess was warm, he tore up it out and they ate in silence. Thunder was moving north, and before long it was booming overhead and steadying bit of rust in the tin trickled down in the stovepipe. They hunkered over the place and wiped the seas up with their finger and drank from the round. The kid went out and scooped his cup and played in the sand and came back banging the tin together as if to fence away some dry ghost phantom out there in the dark. Distant thunderheads reared quivering against the electric sky and were sucked away in the blackness again. The old man sat with one ear cocked to the howling waves without. The kid shut the door. Don't have no bacca with you, do you? Why, said the kid. Didn't allow you did. You reckon it will rain? It got every opportunity like it won't. The kid watched the fire. Already he was nothing. Finally he raised up and shook his head. The hermit watched him over the dying flame. Just go on and fetch your bed, he said. He did, spreading his, spreading his blanket on the speck of mud and pulling up his stinking boot. The blue pine moaned and he heard the mule stamp and snuggle outside, and in his sleep he struggled and muttered like a dreaming dog. He woke sometime in the night with the heart in a, with the heart our with the heart in almost total darkness, and the hermit bent over him and all but in his bed. "What do you want?" he said. But the hermit crawled away, and in the morning, when he woke, the hut was empty, and he got his things and left. All that day he watched to the north, and all that day he watched to the north, a thin line of dust. It seemed not to move at all, and it was late evening, before he could see that it was head his way. He passed through a forest of live oak, and he watered a stream and moved on in the dusk and make a fireless camp. Birds woke him where he lay in a dry and dusty wood. By noon he was on the parade again, and the dust to the north was stretched along the edge of the earth. By evening the first patrol of cattle came into view. Rangy, vicious beasts with amorous horns spread. That night he sat in the herder camp and ate beans and pilot bread and heard a fly on the trail. They were coming down from Ireland 40 days out, headed for the market in Louisiana, followed by a pack of wolf, coyote, Indians. Cattle roamed about them for miles in the dark. Cattle. They asked him no question. A ragged lot of a ragged lot themselves. Crossbred some green nigger, Indian or two. I had my outfit stole. I had my outfit stole, he said. They knocked in the firelight. They got everything I had. I ain't even got a knife. You might could sign on with us. We lost 2 men. Turn back to go to California. I hand your way. I guess you might be gone to California yourself. Ma, I ain't decided. Them boys was with us. Them boys was with us failing with a bunch of Atanas. They were head down for P.S.E, gone to pull for Mexico and the West. I'll bet them old boys is in better drinking their bread now. I'll bet on only done topless ever horse in town. How far is it to P.S.E? It's about 2 days. It's further that. More like 4 days, I would say. How would a man go if he have a mind to? You cut strings how you on to hit the road about half a day. You go into P.S.E? I might do. You see old lonely down there. You tell him get a piece of me. Tell him old he will buy you a drink if he ain't blow all his money in. In the morning they ate sharp flapjack with molasses and the herbs saddle up and move on. When he found his mule, there was a small feather bag tied to the animal rope, and inside the bag there was a cup full of dry beans and some pepper and an old Green River knife with a handle made of string. He saddled up the mule back gale and bounding. The hoover cracked, the rib like fishbone. They hoped on across the endless plain. He came up beside in the evening of the 4th day, and he sat the tattered mule on a low rise and looked down at the town, the quiet above house, the line of green oak, In Cottonwood, Denmark, the coast of the river, the plaza filled with wagons in the Osnabrück cover and the whitewashed public building and the Morris job dome rising from the trees, and the garrison in the town, the tall stone powder house in the distance.